to
good,
vibrancy.
good.
I know you saw the play before, Stephen, with your wonderful husband, Frank Marshall, and your two daughters. And I'm wondering, when you saw it and you decided to bring it to Stephen, did you sort of know instantly this is something he's going to react to? Did you, I'd say you'd sort of have that quality
Well, you
now.
know, it's interesting because I hadn't gone to the play because I had work in the back of my mind. I was on vacation and I was taking my daughters, so it really wasn't until after I saw the play and I got home that I kept thinking about it. And I was sitting on the scoring stage doing Tintin. And I said to Stephen, you know, I saw this extraordinary play, and I started to tell him what it was about, and he instantly responded. And the more we started talking about it, the more we realized it really had many of the elements that Stephen is often attracted to.
Well, when he did finally see it at the New London Theatre on February 1st, 2010, he wept and he met the cast afterwards and all that. And I'm wondering what it is you think that it is so kind of, makes people so emotional, the Frank Mapurgo's 1982 novel about World War I story. I don't know if you can sort of recognise, what is it about this that moves people so much, this story?
Well, I think, first of all, the bond between humans and animals, I think that's always a very, very powerful experience for people. I think the horse, in this case, represents the innocence of war, and I think that that's something that people, you know, can't help but react to.
I know that initially Stephen was just going to produce, but then quite quickly when he saw Richard Curtis' first draft, he decided he'd like to direct, which obviously changes the game quite a bit for you maybe, because he hadn't directed since Crystal Skull, and I don't know if that's suddenly a whole new ball game when Stephen's actually going to direct it. You've got to suddenly put everything up to 11.
I just start making the movie. That's my reaction.
But did it catch you by surprise? Because it was literally a matter of weeks that, you know, he sees it in February, you know, he goes to the Imperial War Museum, he meets the cast. You know, May he announces he's directing, June he announces the cast, and suddenly he's shooting. It seems incredibly fast, but I guess you know what you're doing at this stage.
It was pretty fast even by our standards, but I think we can move pretty quickly now because we have a group of people that have been working together for a long time. So that certainly contributed to it. And I think, you know, because there was a book and the play and a clear sense of what the story was, right away we had a very good idea of what it was we were going to need to accomplish for execution.
Your very first full kind of movie production credit was E.T., and in 1981, along with Frank and Stephen, formed Amblin Entertainment, and you're now the second most successful producer of all time, just second behind Steven Speilberg. I don't know if it's still a thrill because you've 82 films on your resume in production, and you produced. Is it ever feel like another day at the office, or is it still that kind of?
It never feels like another day at the office because I think what's nice is we make so many different kinds of movies and tell so many different kinds of stories that each one has a different challenge. I think if I was doing the same kind of movie over and over again, I wouldn't be doing this anymore. But I still have fun. That's the key.
I was amazed when Emily Watson said that one morning on the set that Stephen admitted to her of being kind of nervous the night before, couldn't sleep because of the particular that day's shoot. He just sort of was worried about it, and it's surprising given, you know, his reputation and given the fact that he's made quite a few movies now and he's had some success. So does that sort of probably doesn't surprise you, because his love of movies would sort of by his very nature make him always want to sort of step beyond expectation?
Yeah, I think Stephen does. He's always looking for challenges. He wants nothing more than to keep pushing himself. And I think he greatly appreciates well-made movies. He's constantly still looking at movies. So I think that that's what's nice about filmmakers who are consistently doing work, is that they're borrowing from each other in a sense. They're looking at, okay, who's doing what next, and how does that translate into what I might do in the future. So I think that's very much who Stephen is. He's constantly growing as a filmmaker. I
should ask, I was saying before the cameras rolled, Kathleen Kennedy, you're obviously a very talented and attractive woman, so I'm guessing that is Irish in there somewhere. It just has a very Irish ring to it. Do you know where if there is Irish roots, where they're from?
Of course I do.
Good woman.
County Cork and Tipperary.
All right, good mix, good hearty mix. I suppose the very last thing, I just got a little bit of time left, but just that I always feel Stephen, in many ways, he you know, he's somebody who's regarded as a god rightly in cinema, and with that great kind of power comes great responsibility and great expectations, and I don't know whether it's difficult for you to because you've known him for so long, is it very easy to say, Stephen, I think this mightn't work, or that should work, or I mean, is he somebody that you can kind of feel, well, his instincts are probably right, I should leave him to it?
Yeah, no, well, that's a twofold question.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, his instincts are usually right, and I often will defer to that. But if I have a strong opinion about something, I have no problem saying that. And I think we've been working together for so long that I'm not intimidated in a sense that I can't say what I feel. And I think that's actually the beauty of the whole group, is that the number of us that have worked together, I think everybody feels that they can say what they really think and offer their opinions and ideas. And I think that's the beauty of what Steven does in his work, is that he's very open to that kind of input, and it benefits the movie.
Sweet. My time is up. Lovely to talk to you. Yeah.
Good to talk to you
Cheers,
too.
yeah.
Thank you.
Have you made it over to some?